coming up here to join me is Kresha Easton of Difficult Research. Hi, Kresha.
Hey, what's up? I'm so sorry I'm late, but kind of not that bad, huh? I'm doing better.
Yeah, it's gonna be a short live for me, so I had to kick it off like right on time because I got to get out of here right on time. But I don't know how long it's even going to go because I only have really one new document to share.
You don't?
Do
you don't
know?
Have one new document?
I do. I do have a document.
Oh,
A new one came down this morning. A new one came down this morning, and so to cover that one, of course, I had to pull up the 3 prior documents leading up to the one that came down this morning. So we can take a look at that. Do you know the one that came down this morning?
Allegedly, no. I don't know. You got to tell me, at least give me a title. What is it about?
It has to do with the 2021 case, actually, juror number 15.
Okay, nope. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
Yeah. So we'll take a look at that.
I have a nickname for Lori. She's a wheelchair warrior. I swear.
Yeah, I didn't
wanted to put warrioress, but it has a red line under it because it's not a word. And so I was like, yeah, no, just warrior.
Yeah,
that is so crazy.
I haven't heard your thoughts since yesterday's thing. I assume that you watched the video that the court released?
Shit. I watched all y'all, everybody, last night. I was like, oh my God. There's a reason that Jesus was like, no, just sleep. Because I did. I mean, because I couldn't go to sleep the night before. I was so wound up. I couldn't help it at all. And I woke up, everything was ending, and I was like, oh my God. I'm kind of glad I didn't show up because it's embarrassing. How embarrassing is she?
Yeah.
That's rhetorical.
Well, even Judge was embarrassed. He told the jury, I am so embarrassed. This has never happened to me in my entire career.
He said it quite a few times. So
yeah.
I feel bad for the whole judicial system and like even people who do represent themselves and don't act 10 kinds of ass like this one does. Like, I think she is sick. I think that's true. But, coming from Lori, who has zero integrity, no ethical bone in her body, is a narcissist from hell and beyond, killed her kids, killed Tammy, killed my uncle, tried to kill Brandon. My mom was on her hit list. She can bite me, okay? That's why we feel zero empathy for her. And I'm not ashamed about it because that's a no-no. All those are no-nos. So she knows better, right. And she knows how to work. Well, she's learning that working her jelly doesn't do as much as it used to. And it's not that I get pleasure out of watching her fall, but at the same time, it's like she needs to, in order for her to really, if ever, this is just one of my wishes, one of my little hypothetical, whatever, dreams, is that, because one of the last things my Uncle Charles said to my Uncle Bobby, his youngest, the baby brother, was, I wonder when Lori is going to come down from all this. And I know that my Uncle Charles, I mean, he led by his heart. He's a Leo. He was a Leo, I mean, heart, right? But I just don't know. That's why I'm glad I'm not God, because I don't make the final shots. I don't make you. Yeah. That's why she has to stand before God and all that stuff. And my only hope is that, and I get flack for this, and you know what? Whatever. But I hope that she finds Jesus. I hope that the real one, like I hope that she comes to terms with what she did, whether she finds Jesus or not. I hope the hell she comes to terms with what she did and can make amends with herself and whatever, wholeheartedly, like for real. not skin deep or whatever. But that both of them, her and Chad and all their little friends. But that's my best wish.
Yeah, there will be a day of reckoning sooner or later. There will be for all of us, but I mean, a particular one for them. My thoughts on yesterday were, number one, everybody was extremely frustrated. Everybody. There were some jurors that were kind of like joking around with each other as they're walking out, but there were definitely some other jurors who were shaking their head and were like clearly pissed off. And
so
the judge
sad.
went out of his way to not point out that it was Lori's fault, but
yeah, I know. Yeah. Because he's trying to keep the bias out. Right.
Yeah. But so she's continuing to cause chaos. She has no case. She has no evidence. She has no witnesses. She's going to be found guilty again, and she just continues to cause as much chaos as she possibly can.
I just wonder I don't know. The whole thing, she asked the judge twice if he was going to come check on her in her cell. And I was just like, he turned you down both times. Like, oh my God. But I did watch you on Web Sleuths last night too. But I saw Megan in the very beginning and I about died. I don't know if you caught it in the very beginning when she was on Web
Sleuths. I did not.
Holy cow.
So we know that the Juror 15 thing goes back to this immediately after the verdict. He was swarmed by the media. This is his second interview, actually. He did one that was like down the street, and then he moved down the street to the bus stop, and Fox 10 caught him again, and he said more stuff. And this is what caused the whole commotion.
Yeah. Do you remember your reaction learning that she has been convicted in killing 2 children?
You know what? I feel sorry for her, I mean, driving home yesterday, I was like, God, she's spending the next 3 lives in prison in a cell. I mean, you got to feel sorry for her, even though, I mean, that's awful thing to do. I mean, there's something wrong up there, but what do you say? Still, you just feel awful about it.
Did you hear that? Yeah, did you hear that, Fox 10?
Yeah.
They got it too.
I mean, if he would have said just one thing and or the other, like, because he could have found out right when he came out before he hit the media. Also, the whole last night as I was driving home, that's the part that's like, no, that's not when you were supposed to be, like that throws a timeline off quite a bit. But
so, yeah, and that leads us to our next 3 filings. So the very next filing was May 1st. Lori filed a motion for a new trial, and her very first fact that she stated was juror misconduct, which has to do with that interview that we just saw right there.
Carl.
So she had 5 points. That was one of them. Yes, Carl. Then the next one was the state's response to the defendant's motion for a new trial, and Trina K turns around and says there was no juror misconduct, and she cites a couple of interviews. She cites the other one that was done before the one we just saw, and then she also cites the one that was done with Lauren from Hidden True Crime, Lauren Matthias. So us YouTubers get cited in court documents too. So his statements that he made on those were different than the other one. So I was a little bit confused. And then the judge ruled on it on May 22nd. It was filed on May 23rd. This is probably the best summary of the judge's ruling. At best, Juror 15 gave a single statement which seems to be in conflict with all his other statements when he specifically denied any misconduct. Here on the limited record of the pleadings before the court, there being no affidavits or sworn testimony evidencing any misconduct as contemplated by Rule 24.1D2 or 24.1D, the court does not find a clear indication of juror misconduct, let alone any evidence of prejudice to the defendant. Juror misconduct requires a new trial only if the defendant shows actual prejudice or if it can fairly be presumed from the facts. So once again, lawyer Lori fails
Yeah.
to make her case, to land the
Thank
plane.
you. Allegedly.
But here, there being no affidavits or sworn testimony, I've said from the beginning that somebody, maybe the judge, needs to call him in and get clarification on it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And
But again, we don't know if that happened. If so, I mean, I don't know how that, maybe I need to look into that about what normal procedure is on that. Like, or is it like a consensus, or how's that go, you know?
Hey, Marshall, welcome in. Lover
Hey,
of puns. I love a good pun too.
Oh, me too. Talk punny to me. Actually, it's usually a nerdy to me. Talk nerdy to me.
Ms. Mojo Rising, look at that. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Mojo.
Look at that.
Hey, everybody. Oh, Joe, I haven't used this one on you. How's your hoe? How's your hoe family doing? You're welcome. Can you tell I work with a bunch of dudes all the time? Okay. Yeah. That's where all that stuff comes from. I'm like a plunger bringing up old shit. See? We can go on and on. It's kind of fun.
So, Ms. Trina K, took it upon herself. It looks like the judge didn't call him in for clarification, so she did, because this morning this dropped. It says 5:29, but it was not on the court docket as of last night while I was going live, because somebody in my live knows what's going on and mentioned there's a new document in the 21 case. And I'm like, I'm looking right at the docket and it's not there. So first thing this morning when I got out of bed, I'm like, oh, there it is. And I don't even know that if Justin Lum has this posted yet, because everybody's focused obviously on the 20.
You know what, Joe? Justin Lum has a whole beat he has to do, okay? And so I give him a little slack. Nate, this is pretty much the only case. So, I mean, besides all the other things, but I mean, that's kind of how I look at it. But you do wonderful.
I do too. I give Justin a hard time because he's like my benchmark. Like if I get my documents posted before him, I'm like, yes, I beat him.
And it's like it's the way guys talk. Actually,
right?
The camaraderie, I guess. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so
I adore all of y'all.
So I didn't. I don't think I've told anybody this except for Trace. When we went to the hearing on Friday, which was part of jury selection. The first part of jury selection, and that's when he ended it abruptly, before we even started jury selection, because she was sick apparently at the time, and she almost threw up on TV.
Remember
and in
that
front of the
napkin
jurors.
she was clinging on to, like, for life? I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That paper towel or Kleenex or whatever.
Yeah, but there weren't very many people there on Friday. There were a lot more people yesterday. So Nate goes and sits down in the front row, well, as far forward as you're allowed to sit. I think they preserve one of the rows or something. And I sit one row back and one seat over from him, and I can have a perfect view of her from there. And then Justin comes in, and he sits down right in front of me and blocks my view. I'm like, Justin, no. So I got up and moved. There were plenty of seats on Friday. There weren't yesterday. There were only 12 public that were allowed in yesterday.
Damn.
Yeah.
So I hear you got like the FTRs under control, and you have like the media. You're recognized as media now, and I'm like,
yeah.
Right.
Vince will let me hang out with the media. Yes, and he did send me the FTRs. So yeah. Thank you.
Love always wins. So sometimes it's good to pay in money. Show it. Okay.
Okay, this document, the state of Arizona, through undersigned counsel, which is Trina K., obtained an affidavit from Juror 15 in support of state's response to defendant's motion for a new trial. This affidavit contains Juror 15's name and date of birth. For these reasons, the state requests permission to file this under seal. Blah, 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 blah. So This isn't the actual affidavit. It's just a motion to file the affidavit under seal. And
I'm laughing at Erin Soper. I'm sorry. She's like, she might be on a stretcher tomorrow. Okay. Sorry. I'm like a child. Very immature.
No, but I should be watching chat.
Lover of Pun says Lori would fling poo in her cell if it would get her out of the trial. Now, I watched Daryl Brooks' trial. Did you watch it by chance?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes.
I was just out of morbid curiosity, and I was like, well, you never know. This could happen in the future, and then bam.
Yeah, and Richard Allen actually in the Delphi trial did engage in that, but not to get out of the trial. He was suffering from
MK Ultra is what I call it. MK IV poll tomorrow. Whatever she got to do. Give her some of that bottle of liquid oxygen, she's whatever. Get her a manicure and a pedicure. I don't care. Just let's get this show on the road. Let's get it over with. I like my mom's remark. I thought translated beings didn't get sick. Anyways, right? They don't die.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't die and they heal quickly, it says. So holding her up to it.
Well, maybe she got untranslated somewhere along the way.
I think that she's never been translated. She's been translated into many different languages and things like that. But never a translated being. More like a translated bee. Or the wheelchair warrior. Okay, she's a warrior. She's a godless goddess. I mean, I've come up with all kinds of things. Laughing is necessary. Don't know if y'all know that it is Chad's 1-year anniversary. Yeah, I actually watched his because like Lori, they were like guilty in Idaho, and Chad's it was more extended because of the death penalty. But I watched the 30-minute video from actually it just came on by itself, and so I've just been watching recaps of the Chad's trial all week. Oh yeah, look, she's perching. She's perched. She's ready to launch. Or this is just her crazy kiss.
There we go. There it is.
Oh, she's pulling into the camera.
Yes. And is that how people want Lori to be brought in, or how she's going to have to be brought in?
I really don't give a shit. I have no preference.
as long as they get on with it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm ready for off with her head. I've been there a long time ago. But more so, I did not, and I hate this. I hate this about myself because I don't hate people, but I loathe Lori, and I didn't before Uncle Charles' trial. As soon as she started representing herself, I was like, I can't stand her. Holy cow. So I don't know. I'm glad the whole world got to see, because before she represented herself, we just heard, that's great. When Nate said people are praying for you, your kids, that's great. And then we heard like podcasts and stuff that came out with her, roar, I'm the warrior, I'm going to roar, I'm the gatherer, and, all the weird things. And anyway, so that's about as much as we heard of Lori. And then so a lot of people who follow the case would ask me, Megan, anybody that's related to her, knows her, they would ask us things, and they still do, but it's not near as much. At least I can speak for myself. It's not near as much. It's very low key, but it's because people have been able to see for themselves, and they're like, "Oh my, it's so much better conversation now." Because now it's like we're all up to par. We're on the same chapter in the same book, So I just feel so bad for Tylee, JJ, Colby, my cousins, and Uncle Charles, and Joe, and all her ex-husbands, all her exes. Thank God she didn't work, because if she did, she would have some more people pissed off and hurt and victimized.
Right, and I think that for me, it's a stark contrast between.
Tammy too. Yeah. Sorry.
Do what?
Well, Tammy, she didn't know Tammy though. She did not. So I was like, Tammy too, but yeah, no.
Right.
I'm talking about lived with her. Had to, oh God, can you imagine having one argument with her? Well, I mean, yeah, now you can. But I mean, can you legit? Her talking about
imagine being in Judge Boraski's shoes and having to have multiple arguments with her,
and not being able to just be like, bitch, sit down.
Right.
Yeah. I'm important. I'm just joking.
Well,
I'm really not. I'm really an old lady, but.
Thank you so much for jumping up here with me tonight, and for being my friend and my co-host, and continuing to explore the difficult topics and talk about the difficult topics with me. I appreciate it. I appreciate you.
Ditto.
And I appreciate everybody in chat. I appreciate the super chats. Yep.
All
Check
right.
out
Justice for Tylee, Charles, Tammy, JJ, Joe, and Brandon. Love always wins.